Okay, I'm back. My apologies. I will definitely do some more research on another way of broadcasting my phone camera as my webcam, because this one is really fussy. All right, here we go. I'm back to folding up my card here, my card base. Simple, thick, white cardstock. We're going to build the front right on the card base rather than using a layer. Here again is the template that I'm going to be using. Okay, and I'm going to bring my camera a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So I thought I would create a bit of a blue sky background on the front of my card, but I had some blotches happen. So I'm going to take off some of the ink and just go around in a bit of a swirly motion down to where the soil will appear, just to give it some background here. Okay. That's all I'm going to do for that. All right, now I've got, I decided to use, instead of using maybe a brown cardstock to create the soil, I thought I would bring out some pattern paper. So I'm using a 6x6 paper pack in the neutrals colors, and I've picked out 3 different colors. I thought I would combine them as for a rip to look, just to do something a little bit really kind of wild. So the key to ripping paper is to rip the paper towards you. So I'm going to cut this down to, I think, 4 inches. No, I'm going to do 4 1/4 inches, and I'm going to put my paper layers across the bottom of my card. So I'm going to put these all together, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. So I'm going to bring out my guillotine trimmer for multiple sheets, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches, 4-inch width for all 3 pieces. Okay. And all right, that's all I want to do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip them individually. So I'm going to turn it sideways because I want my strips to go across like this. Oh, I cut it too short. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, so the key is now I'm going to rip the paper towards me, because when I rip it towards me, you end up with this bit of white. This is underneath the pattern, and you want that to be exposed because it kind of gives it a really cool effect. So I'm just going to rip this across, and you can control the ripping by putting your thumb there. Okay, so there's one layer. And then I'm going to layer another one. Okay, and I'll do one more. So we're doing something really kind of unrealistic looking. That's kind of fun with card making. You can do what you want. Okay, so the idea is to layer these, and I'll glue them on top of each other before I actually glue them to the card. So I might do something like that to give it a layered look. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing these together. So I'm just going to put a little bead of glue and I'll just layer them one on top of another. Now I'm putting the glue towards the bottom because I want to be able to tuck in my vegetables or fruit or whatever I'm growing in between these layers. So I don't want to put too much glue towards the top because I want to be able to tuck things in. Okay, so here I've got my my garden. What is that on my card now? Boy, this is a challenging video this morning. Technology and splotches and my glue gun not working very well. Holy moly, ole. Challenging my patience this morning. What a way to start a Monday with technical difficulties. Okay. But as we do say in the crafting business, it is what it is, and you just keep on going. All right. For this piece here, I thought I would use one of, these are fantastic dies. These are the Nested Essentials dies, and I thought I would use one of these. And I'm going to kind of find a greeting somewhere to put on here. And I thought I would find a greeting and then pick one of these flagged edges. Those are kind of cool coming down from your card. It could also just be a piece of pattern paper, but I think a greeting is pretty appropriate. Something like a hello or a thank you or something like that. All right, so now we're going to start building up some of our vegetables. So I decided to use our watercolor pencils this morning. They're a little bit quicker. I keep them in this little pouch here. It's a little bit quicker to color with watercolor pencils than with your blends. And so for the sake of speeding things up, this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to pull out my black ink pad. And I'm going to stamp a variety of different vegetables. Now, this stamp set comes with fantastic dies. You can pretty well cut out everything. So I'm going to do a carrot. So I'll be able to die cut these all, excuse me, all at the same time. And I've got this adorable little radish. Okay, I'm going to put a spade sticking out of the dirt. So let's do the spade. And I have a lettuce here, which would be fun as well. So I'm going to do vegetables. There are some fruit. There's some, well, there's actually some peas too, but they don't grow out of the ground. So I won't do those. But there's also some really, really cute little strawberries here that you could use on another card. And then you've got this wonderful water can. You've got the pots, basket, and you've got this pitchfork. So really, really cool pieces. And then these are the dies inside. You can cut out pretty well everything. Okay. So that's a lot of fun. And the pot has 2 dies to go with the pot, and the watering can has 2 dies. And this second die here actually creates texture on top of the watering can. And this die here, the 3 kind of rims of the pots. So that's kind of cool. Okay. All right. So let's do a bit of coloring. And I'm going to grab, let's see, I'll do a couple of different greens. I have a garden green in here somewhere. So I've got 3 different greens here. So radishes typically have darker leaves. Now, over the years, my husband and I have really struggled to grow vegetables. We don't get enough sun in our yard. And we've tried growing radishes unsuccessfully, carrots unsuccessfully. We grew beautiful potatoes. We had great potatoes. They grew quite well. But carrots and radishes were unsuccessful. Tomatoes, we haven't had much luck, just again, not enough sun. I'm going to add a little bit of more shading here just by pressing a little bit harder on the pencil. Just adding a bit more shading to the center of the leaves. Okay, and then for the carrot, I'm going to use this as Granny Apple Green. I like using watercolor pencils because you don't have to be so precise. And they're great for smaller areas as well because you can sharpen the pencil to get a really nice crisp point, and then you can color. So just add a bit of darker green in the middle here. All right, let's pull out some, I'll do a little brown handle for my spade. And press down harder where I want some shading. And then I need a gray color. We're going to need red, real red for the radishes. And here's some gray. So let's do the spade. And again, I'm just pressing a little bit harder to get some of that shading going. Okay, and let's do our little radish. See, watercolor pencil coloring is going faster than using my blends. Plus, using blends can be a little bit more challenging on smaller items because it can bleed if you're not really a careful colorer. Okay, let's do this leafy lettuce. And I'm just going in little circles. Is my camera still running? Yes. I was using this app for my second camera very successfully for the longest time, and then it just started giving me issues. Okay, I'm going to go darker where the leaves kind of fold over. Actually, I did that opposite. You should do darker underneath the fold. So when you're doing roses, you know how the petals curl out? You should do dark underneath the fold out because that shows a kind of some shading underneath. And then just where they kind of overlap, just put a bit of shading on the leaf underneath it. And it just helps give some dimension. And I'll do some really dark here in the middle. Okay. All right, and then we need some orange for our carrot, and then we can cut them all out and start popping them into our soil. Okay, let's just do a bit of dark in here. There we go. Okay, very cute. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so let's pull out the dies. So here's the carrot die. I should be able to die cut these all at the same time. And I am going to use some tape to hold things down. Okay, here's the lettuce. I haven't yet cut out a lettuce, so let's see. Oh, there we go. They're pretty easy to line up. So there's the lettuce. Here's the little spade. So when you're stamping a bunch of images, make sure you've given yourself enough room to die cut them. You don't want your die cuts to touch another die cut in case it overlaps. Now the carrot's really cool because you can cut it out like this, or you can also cut out some foliage. This is just a bunch of foliage here, which is kind of cool. And I need my radish here. Hi, Christine. I'm glad you're back. I'm sorry about my issues this morning. Okay, let's put another piece of tape on here. Yeah, I think this set is really, really cute. I'm now wishing I'd ordered the paper, like I was saying before. Okay. Let's run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And now we've got all of our little vegetables. Cannot wait for summer. All right, there's our little spade. Okay, let's see how we go. Let me just give this a better crease here so it lies nice and flat. All right, so we've got some little, you see, I can just tuck these under. Let's decide where we're going to put everything. So I've got a carrot here. And we've got a lettuce. And I'm just tucking them in the folds. And then I'll put in my little spade. How's that look? Now this is kind of looking, you know, very simple. I'm not sure what else I can do up there. But let's work on our, maybe I'll just do a larger one of these. And, you know, I'm going to do a layered look because I want to pick up one of these papers. This one I think is way too big. Yes. So maybe we'll do this one and this one. We'll layer these together. Now we can either layer it coming down or we can layer it coming out this way. But I think I'll layer it coming up here. And then I'm going to have to find a tiny little greeting. I should have brought a greeting out here. But because this set doesn't have a greeting at all. So I need a tiny little hello. Let me just pop up here and see if I can find a real quick little hello. Oh, let's see. I'm hoping I can find something fast. I might find something a little bit later. All right, now let's decide which color. I think I might want this. Let's see. How about the green color? So we could do this in green, or we could do it in brown. Maybe I like it in the brown. Yeah, let's do the brown. So I'm going to cut out this. don't really have to have a greeting. Let's cut this one out too and put it on top, and then let's see what we can come up with. Okay. Now, I love these dies. They've got double stitching on them, which is really, really cool. So I might do something like this. So let's glue these two pieces together. I want to cover up my little, I've got a little splotch right here. See if I can cover that up. Yes, that will work. So I'm going to put this on. And then I think I'll decide on a greeting after the video is finished, and then I'll post a photo if I decide to do a greeting. I don't know. Let me know. Just what do you think? Does that just look okay like it? You know what? I think I need, I don't know, I need some birds or something in here. So I think I'll find another stamp set and just grab some little birds and put in there. I need a little something something in here. I could do the sun coming up or something. But anyway, the focus of this card was to show you this ripping technique. Now I'm going to show you the first card. This was the fault line card. It's called a fault line card. So this was the first card I made. Well, I've done the ripping technique over the years, but this I did recently, fault line card. You can look up my video. And so you're just ripping to create. I meant to, my thought was creating a riverbed here and then having the seagull come. And these little stones are retired now, but they came out with, I think it was a beach themed stamp set, or it might have been a suite of products, but these little pebbles are so cute, I thought, with the riverbed. So that was that. And then with the leftover strips, I made this card. So I'm really enjoying the ripping technique. So I just took the leftover strips in here and ripped them a little bit more and then added some more ripping. I did some butterflies in the background, and then I did these gold butterflies with this beautiful Lost Lagoon ribbon with gold in it. So that was a result of those two cards. Lots of fun. So there's the card for today. Yeah, small, maybe put the pitchfork in. Oh, that's a good idea coming up. Oh my gosh, aren't you smart? Well, let's do that right now. Thank you, Christine. See, two heads are very often better than one. Okay, let's do the pitchfork. Smart girl. I think my mind is muddled with all the issues I had this morning. Okay, let's do this pitchfork. And again, I will do and then I need the gray color, and then we'll cut out the pitchfork. Now you could, for all of these gardening tools, you could easily use some silver foil paper and just cut it out twice and then piece it together. That would be kind of cool. Okay, let's cut out our pitchfork. This is going to fill in that space perfectly. Okay. All right. Another fun little thing you could do is if, say, you could pretend somebody gave you this pitchfork as a gift, and you could put a little ribbon around it. So we could stick that fork in right like that. And I'm going to put a little dimensional on here just to lift the handle up a little bit. I like doing that. The whole die cut does not have to be lifted up. You can just lift up part of it. So I'm just going to put, this is one of our mini dimensionals. And then I'm going to grab my glue. Put some glue on there. And then let's stick our pitchfork in. Thank you, Christine. Look, that makes a big difference, don't you think? I think I will find a little greeting on there. I could even put it in a little circle maybe. And I'm going to find some birds for up there. And then I think that will complete the card. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Oh, the butterfly card. You love it. Thank you. Thank you. Which papers am I using? These papers are the Regal 6x6 paper pack. Oh, no, sorry, neutrals. These are the neutrals, but they come in the 4 color families, right? They come in brights, subtles, neutrals, and Regals. And these are the neutrals. Yeah, I usually get all 4 packs just so I have all the colors. All right. So I think that turned out pretty good. What do you think? What do you think of the torn paper? And what do you think of the designer series? Whoops, I didn't glue that in. Did I glue any of these in? I didn't glue these in. Okay, I'm going to put a few more dimensionals on here. My goodness. I didn't glue them in there. So with a dimensional on, you don't really have to put any glue on here because I'm going to tuck it in the paper and the dimensional should hold it pretty tight. Where did I have that? Right there. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't glue anything. Isn't that funny? My carrot, I'll also put another dimensional on just to hold out the, it's too big. Ones. There we go. All right, there's our card for today. Who's joined us? Lena joined us. Hi, Lena. How are you? My first attempt this morning was a fail. I'll go and I'll delete that video because it went live, and then we'll just do, oh, I forgot my goodness. It's been a struggle this morning. Let me tell you. You'd think it was Friday the 13th. Stick our little shovel in there. There we go. I'm really happy with the way that, I love this. Very cute. So there you go. There's that template. Here's the template here. This is posted, but I'll post it again along with a picture of this finished card so you can see it. I'd love to see if you create anything with torn paper. It's kind of a fun technique. You can go wild with it. And I'm just in a rush to get out of here. Because of all my glitches. Yeah, I am feeling a little embarrassed, you guys. But anyway, I know you're understanding and you're really, really supportive. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me show you my face one more time. and say goodbye. There we go. Here I am. Look how red my face is. Yeah, I get really embarrassed when I have glitches. But I'm going to do some more research on finding a better solution. Anyway, I gab on. Have a super week, you guys. I'll be back on Thursday night for Case the Caddy. And yeah, the mini catalog is running until the end of April. So we've got 2 full months of more Case the Caddies in that catalog. And then we'll be looking forward to the new annual catalog will be coming out just around the corner. So happy shopping, happy creating, and I'll see you Thursday night. Bye, ladies.